that you make me feel and the way you treat me, we will never, and the way you talk to me, we will never be able to have a child. You will never be able to get that gift from me because I refuse to bring a child into a household that's in strife.
Webb and her boyfriend, King, are finally speaking out after her ex-husband, Gregory Lunceford, made some serious accusations about them. But is this all about getting back at each other, or did things really go too far? We have all the details on what they had to say, how everything started, and if Gregory's claims are true. It looks like Gregory, even though he has a wife, is still focused on the past. I never said Sierra, man, and I did not mean it like that. That is why I want all of you to say it. You all have been saying it. What other reason would he be with Chu? There is so much more to this, everyone. When you all see it, your jaws will drop because I told you before. Do you remember last season when Quad showed up at the finale and asked if she could give Gregory a hug? Look at how he reacted. Carlos and I talked about that moment exactly. What I said back then has actually come true. You all need to watch it. I am not giving away anything about the show. I am just saying, go back and watch my old lives and you will understand everything. To really understand how we got here, we have to look back. The story between Quad and Gregory has always been like a ticking time bomb. They got married in 2012, and at first, they seemed like a perfect couple. She was the stylish and outspoken reality star, and he was the successful psychiatrist, but things were not as simple as they seemed. Behind closed doors, things were far from perfect. By the time they reached their breaking point in 2018, their arguments had gotten out of hand. Quad said Gregory was emotionally neglectful, and Gregory said that Quad cared more about her career than their marriage. This was not just a typical celebrity divorce. It got really messy. They fought over money, property, and even their pets. The tension did not go away after they signed the divorce papers. Even after their divorce was final in 2019, the bad feelings stuck around. Every time they saw each other, it was clear things were far from over. Whenever they crossed paths, there was still a lot of bad feeling between them. Things only got worse when Gregory moved on and found love again with his new wife, Latasha Lunceford, who is also known as Sweet Tea. Gregory and Sweet Tea's relationship became a big topic on the show, and their engagement got a lot of different reactions. At the same time, Quad was starting a new chapter of her own. She focused on her career and had been linked to a few men over the years. But it was only when she went public with King that people started paying attention again. Even though Quad seemed happy in her new relationship, she still had strong feelings about Gregory and Sweet Tea's marriage. Those feelings were about to come out in a big way.
Hope at the reunion that they break the third wall. Okay. That's all I can say. Because there were some things said off camera that would totally contradict what she said on camera.
Oh, wow.
And everyone heard it, which is why everybody was like, oh, you being a fraud. And this is what I told Jackie. I said, I want you to think twice next time. We're not gonna blame it on editing.
Right.
Because I've been here too for 10 years.
Right.
We give them, right?
Exactly.
What they can use.
Fast forward to the latest Married to Medicine cast trip, and what started as a fun game night quickly turned into a big showdown no one expected. It all took place at Dr. Heavenly's house, where the ladies and their partners came together for what was supposed to be a relaxing evening with drinks, games, and bonding. But this is Married to Medicine, and when you mix old hurt feelings with alcohol, things can get messy very fast. At first, the group seemed. They were just playing a game of sip or spill, where everyone had to either answer a question honestly or take a drink. Things started to get a little shady when the questions turned to past relationships. That is when Quad, feeling a bit loose from the cocktails, made a comment about Gregory and Sweet Tea's marriage. She suggested that Sweet Tea was just a replacement and hinted that Gregory was still holding on to his past. Sweet Tea has been trying to prove herself ever since she joined this group, and she was not going to let that comment go. Sweet Tea was not going to let that slide. She quickly responded, saying that she was the one wearing the ring now, and if Gregory wanted Quad, he would have never left her in the first place. That is when the energy in the room changed. Quad, never one to back down, fired back by saying how fast Gregory jumped into a new relationship, basically suggesting that he married Sweet Tea without really thinking, not because of love. At that moment, Gregory stepped in, trying to stop the argument, but by then, it was too late. That is when King got involved. Up until that point, King had been sitting back, watching everything happen. But once Gregory started raising his voice, King had enough. He stepped in and told Gregory to keep it respectful when talking to Quad. Gregory, already angry, was not going to let another man tell him what to do. The two of them started exchanging words, and it was clear they were very close to things getting physical. The tension in the room felt heavy, and the rest of the group tried to step in to calm things down, but the damage had already been done. Sweet Tea was very upset, and Quad was standing strong, not backing down. King made it clear that he was not going to let anyone talk down to his woman. Just like that, what started as a fun night quickly turned into a big mess. On the last episode, it seemed like King and Quad's ex-husband, Dr. G, had some problems with each other. So, how are things between them now? Well, they do not interact at all now. The show is finished. Everything is done, but what my man was saying is simple, just respect her. If you cannot talk to her with respect, then do not talk to her at all. Nice, do not speak to her again, and that was the end of it. I think the way my man handled it was too much for Gregory. He felt like his pride got hurt, so he decided he needed to get the upper hand. That is when he called the police, even though no one threw a punch, and no one was hit or anything like that. It seemed like he wanted to see if he could press charges over something that was just a little back and forth. Just when you thought things could not get any messier, the night took another crazy turn. The tension between King and Gregory had already reached its highest point at Dr. Heavenly's game night, but what happened next surprised everyone. As the argument grew, voices became louder and their body language turned more aggressive. Gregory, still feeling disrespected by King stepping in, reportedly made a comment about Quad's past, saying she was just bitter about his marriage. That really set King off. Witnesses say King stepped closer to Gregory, getting right in his face. At that moment, security had to step in to separate them. Before things became physical, even though no punches were thrown, it was clear that this situation had crossed a line. Gregory, still shaken by what happened, decided he could not just let it go. A few days later, news came out that Gregory had pressed charges against King. Reports said that Gregory felt threatened by King's actions and wanted to take legal steps to protect himself. Some sources even said that the show's producers had to step in and warn King that any future aggressive behavior would not be tolerated. This led to rumors starting to spread. Some people are saying that King has already been banned from certain filming locations and that Bravo executives are now deciding if they want him to be part of future episodes. Others believe this is more of a warning than an actual ban. Either way, King's role on Married to Medicine is now under close watch. This situation has divided fans. Some think Gregory had every right to take legal action, saying he was just standing up for himself. Some people think Gregory was just trying to stop things from getting worse, while others feel like he made the situation much bigger than it needed to be. Some even believe he is using this to make himself seem like the victim and change the story to work in his favor. But while Gregory was handling things through the legal system, Quad and King had their own way of responding. Not long after the news about the charges came out, Quad and King went online to talk about the situation. Let us just say, they did not hold back at all. At first, Quad seemed completely unbothered. She laughed, rolled her eyes, and called the whole thing silly. According to her, Gregory was acting like he was in danger, even though nothing really happened. She made it clear that, in her opinion, this was just an attempt to make King look bad. On the other hand, King took a more serious approach. He defended himself, saying that he never threatened Gregory and that the situation was being blown out of proportion. He explained that all he did was stand up for his woman. King made it clear that he never threatened Gregory and that Gregory started making shady comments first. At one point during the live session, Quad straight up called Gregory a snitch, saying he went to the authorities over nothing. She even suggested that Gregory had been waiting for a chance like this to try to make her look bad. "This man has been trying to play the victim since our divorce," she said, shaking her head. The live session lasted almost an hour, and fans filled the comments with their thoughts. One person said, "Gregory is always playing the victim. He has a whole new wife. Why is he still worried about Quad?" And that is the thing, this situation is messy, no matter which side you are on. It is clear that the bad blood between Quad and Gregory is not going anywhere anytime soon.
I think there should be anyone who doesn't fight for their marriage. I mean, if you don't respect the institution of marriage. So I fought for my marriage, but that doesn't mean that that was healthy at all. It got to a point where it's very unhealthy.
It wasn't right for
and
us.
so I moved on.
Not in the morning, not in the evening. It wasn't right.
This has turned into a big debate among Married to Medicine fans. Some people believe Gregory had every right to press charges if he felt threatened. It makes sense that he would want to take legal action, especially since reality TV is full of drama. But that does not mean real-life problems should turn into fights. From Gregory's point of view, King was being aggressive and things could have gotten dangerous. Plus, we should not forget that Gregory is just trying to protect himself and move on. Gregory is trying to protect his new marriage with Sweet Tea, and the last thing he needs is more drama from his past with Quad. But many fans feel that Gregory overreacted. They think this is just another example of him trying to control the story and make himself look like the victim. Since Gregory and Quad have so much unresolved history, people are wondering if this was really about King, or if Gregory was just looking for a way to make Quad and her new relationship look bad. Let's be honest, calling the police over this situation seems like a bit much. Some people feel like Gregory is making a bigger deal out of everything than needed, especially over an argument that never even turned physical. One person commented, saying, "Gregory is doing too much. King did not even touch him, and now he is acting like the victim." Another person added, "Gregory is still hung up on Quad. He married Sweet Tea, but somehow he is always involved in drama with his ex. It does not make sense." This raises a bigger question. Will Quad and Gregory ever be able to move on? Every time it seems like they have put the past behind them, something happens that pulls them back into old drama. What should have been just another fun cast trip turned into a big legal situation that could affect the entire Married to Medicine cast. Now, there are rumors that King might be banned from filming. If those rumors are true, what does that mean for his future on the show? And what happens to Quad's storyline? Will she still appear without him, or could this cause her to leave the show completely? Also, if Gregory is really going to press charges, how will that change everything for everyone involved? This situation is only getting messier, and it makes you wonder, what happens if there is another argument in the future? No matter which side you're on, things are getting intense, and we know more drama is coming with Quad, Gregory, and now King involved. This could be one of the biggest Married to Medicine feuds yet. With all the tensions still high, do not be surprised if this carries over into future episodes. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Gregory went too far by pressing charges, or do you think King deserved it? And do you think Quad and Gregory will ever stop throwing shots at each other? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to hit the like button if you love Married to Medicine drama as much as we do. See you in the next video.